Good day, everybody, and welcome to today's latest episode on my YouTube video series. And today we're going to talk about my first impressions on the first two upcoming projects later this year, which are walking distance to the RTS, right? Which is CTC Sky1 and the UOA JBCC project, which I think doesn't have a confirmed name right now. So I'll just call it UOA JBCC. So these two projects are currently, if you pay attention on the social media, on YouTube, on TikTok, right, there are a lot of marketing going on right now. You can see a lot of agents doing videos about how you can walk 300 meters to the RTS from these two projects, and this is the biggest selling point. And you can also see a lot of Facebook advertisements, right, using AI generated buildings trying to market both these projects as walking distance to the RTS. And correct, this is their selling point. They both are walking distance to RTS and pretty near, right? We are talking about 300 meters or less, or about approximate, right? And this is why many buyers today, I get a lot of comments on my YouTube, people privately WhatsApp me or talk to me, hey Ryan, is these two projects worth to buy or not? Because they're going to be launching soon, right? And you can already see some pre-marketing activity going on. In case you are a bit new to this, if you haven't watched my earlier videos where I did the JB City Centre land analysis, where I talk about S tier, super tier versus A tier projects in Johor Bahru, you can go and watch here. The link is above, right, where you can go and see that earlier video. I think that earlier video will give you some idea about where all the different projects are in JB City today, especially those which are walking distance to RTS and which ones are not. So right now, because both projects are still in a pre-launch stage, they have not received full approvals for marketing, right? I have received preliminary information kits on both projects, right? So, but I don't want to share their slide information direct on this video, because just in case they are subject to change, right? Things may still change. The information I'm presenting here today may not be correct, may not be final. So some disclaimer here that all this information that I'm sharing here today is based on the preliminary information I have today, and they're still subject to change. So take that into account when you watch this video. Also, it's a disclaimer for the rest of this video. So let's go through the pros and cons for both projects, starting with CTC Sky1. So CTC Sky1, the major pro, of course, is a walking distance to the RTS station, right? 300 meters, and you're, like I said, you've probably seen a lot of YouTube videos or agents sending you videos showing that you can actually walk 300 meters from the location to the RTS station, and the location is also next to the currently just opened Sheraton 5-star hotel, right? So here are some images of the Sheraton 5-star hotel, just opened, very nice. I think JB hasn't had a new 5-star hotel in some time. And also the Sheraton 5-star hotel sitting in the SKS City Mall. Now SKS City Mall used to be an abandoned mall, has been revived by the developer SKS Maha Builders. So the mall will only be opening next year. So you go there now, I think the mall is still being fitted out. We have no idea who the tenants are right now, but there will be a mall here, which I think is a big plus point for residents of CTC Sky1. You can then use the mall next to you. In terms of layout plans, right, all as per earlier CTC project, right, all the layouts, practically all the layouts are considered dual key layouts. All of them, right, you can consider dual key layouts. Even the smallest floor plan, which is 452 square feet, right, is actually a 2-bed 2-bath. Okay, I repeat, 2-bed 2-bath, 452 square feet, dual key, right? So this will probably end up selling around 600 plus thousand ringgit. So dual keys are very popular with investor buyers, right, because of the higher rental yield, right? Because you got two tenants in the same property. Some people also like it because you can stay one, rent out one. So retirees and also a lot of Malaysians who work in Singapore, they like the idea that you can stay one unit and collect rental from the other unit. So like, again, very popular with retiree, those part-time retirees, very popular also with the Malaysians working in Singapore, this dual key concept. And so far, in many projects that we've seen so far, all the earlier projects we've seen in JB so far, dual key has been a very, very popular layout. So this project, CTC Sky1, has gone very heavy into the dual key concept. So everything here is dual key, right? We have dual key, we even got triple key. So for those of you who like to buy property where you want to have many, many rooms to rent out, to improve your rental yield, right? So it's like CTC Sky1 has done this for you, right? It's like pre-built all the rooms for you. So triple key also have, right, for this project. So what are the cons of CTC Sky1? First impression, density is super high, right? We are told that there will be 1,600 units. I repeat, 1,600 units on the land size of over 1.6 acres. So that's pretty high density. A lot of units squeezed into a small plot of land. My other opinion is that there are too many dual key units. I'm not against the idea of dual key. I think some dual key is good, but when the entire project is full of dual key, I mean that may present a problem in terms of density, because it means that most owners buy with intention to fill out all the rooms lah. So you may have situation of overcrowding. A lot of people stay in the project, right? Every room also got some person, so that may create a scenario where quite high density, and could be too many people living on this same project, all right? And we don't know whether that will strain the maintenance and the lift and things like that. The third con is probably the SKS City Mall today is somewhat of an unknown. We don't know who will be the tenants in SKS City Mall. They have not announced any anchor tenant. SKS as a developer also doesn't really have a big track record in running shopping malls, so we don't know whether this mall, SKS City Mall, will be successful or not. It's a bit of an unknown today, right? The other issue, actually the major issue for also CTC Sky1 is that today when we talk about the 300 meters walking distance, right, we are walking through Kim Teng Park. Now Kim Teng Park, this 300 meters, right, the issue the walk is that it's not sheltered, right, and there's no pedestrian walkway, so you're literally walking 300 meters on an open, very small road. You're walking on a road, so you can be hit by the rain, can be hit by the sun, it can be hot, right? You can be hit by vehicles, right? There's no plan to build a pedestrian walkway right now, as far as we know. And so yeah, you have to be comfortable to do that, which I don't know whether you guys like that or not, right? Although it's very near 300 meters, but it's, as I said, exposed walk with no pedestrian walkway, right? The other issue at Kim Teng Park is that for those of you who know, I think many of you who are in the property industry knows that Kim Teng Park is a plot of land, right, which is a very high chance you'll be acquired by the Malaysian government, right? The Malaysian government has tried to acquire Kim Teng Park before COVID. This was around, I can't remember the exact year, 2016, 2017. Kim Teng Park tried to be bought over by the Malaysian government, because this is a very prime plot of land. The houses there are a bit old, so there's a compulsory acquisition. They tried to do that, right? And if you ask me, they will try to do that again sometime in the future. When that will happen, we don't know. It could be next year, this year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. Nobody knows for sure, right? But because of the Kim Teng Park is so prime plot of land next to the RTS, right? We know that eventually, or very high chance, that this land will be bought over by the government or by some other developers in the future. We don't know, right? Most likely it's the government, right? Government acquire back the land first and then see what they want to do. Maybe some plots they will sell back again. We don't know. But because Kim Teng Park has a high chance to be acquired, right? It means that your 300-meter walk may not be a straight line in the future. It could be have to curve, turn, all that. We don't know, right? And that might change the distance that you have to the RTS station, right? You may not have such an easy 300-meter walk, right? Because the things may appear in between, right? Once the land's acquired, right? And today also the assumption 300 meters walking to RTS station is that you assume that there is a main gate there for you, We don't know, right? Actually, at this stage, that the RTS station will have a door for you to enter from this 300-meter walk. You may have to cut right to the main road and then turn a bit of U-turn to get to the main entrance, because the main entrance we know will be facing the JB Sentral. There will be one entrance over there. Whether there's an entrance at the back over here, I don't think we are clear about that. There may not be an entrance to the back of the RTS station facing CTC Sky1. So there's an assumption today that 300 meters, yes, 300 meters to the perimeter of the RTS station. Now, whether the RTS station there got door or not, door, I think it's not clear at this stage. And also, like I said, the status of Kim Teng Park in the future. The other issue with CTC Sky1 is regarding the developer. Now, CTC is a private developer. We don't have a lot of track record on CTC. CTC has launched one project called Oasis Residence, which is in JB. They have been successful in that. So pretty much all the units, I think, and already built maybe a superstructure, have already probably reached a superstructure by now. CTC is actually a company from Singapore, right? They are a travel agency. Actually, they are prime business in Singapore. Actually is a travel agency, and we know the bosses and the main money actually is a Chinese money that comes from China. So the issue with CTC is that as a developer, we don't have much track record. We don't know how much experience CTC has being a developer here. So it's a bit of a question mark there. So far, so good. They haven't created any issues for us. But I mean that again, because it's a track record issue, private company, right? And news in the media sometimes, recently, in Singapore, we talk about buy from developers which are not certain, right? You may have construction risk, right? Especially if the developer is private. So CTC, technically speaking, also share the same risk because of their track record. And finally, of course, the last most important point is price. Now, CTC bought this land roughly about 1,000 per square foot. So they will probably have to sell, based on what we understand, at least 1,300 ringgit per square foot, right? Which is on par with Causeway Square, on par with RNF Phase 2, right? Although more expensive than RNF Phase 3, right? So at 1,300 per square foot, the price is considered high, but I think that's market price today, right? All the developers right now in this area are testing the 1,300, 1,400 per square foot average, right? And can sell. So far, Causeway Square sells so many, RNF will sell so many at this price. So CTC also will also at least be at this price range, right? So whether this price cheap or not, we're talking about the smallest unit will be about 600 plus thousand ringgit per square foot. That's for sure. Cheapest price onwards for the 452 square feet dual key. Okay, let's move on to UOA JBCC. Now, UOA JBCC, right, is on the other side of the RTS station, right? If you look at the map, right, you have to cross the highway, right? UOA said that they will build a link bridge, right, which is okay. I think the link bridge is a reasonable thing. I think government would not say no, right? You want to build an overhead bridge across the road, right, from the UOA plot to the RTS station. So that makes UOA also very, very near to RTS. Actually, there's roughly 300 meters also, including all the way, right? And you do appear on the right side of the RTS station, where very likely there'll be one, or we know for sure there'll be one main entrance over there. So access to the RTS station, I think, is quite clear, right? We don't see a problem for this to happen. So that's a big plus point of UOA JBCC. The next plus point of UOA JBCC is that UOA itself is a very reputable developer. They are listed on the KLSE in KL, right, and has a very long track record as a developer in Malaysia. They are also responsible for Bangsa South in KL, very branded. I think win multiple awards. I think nobody will claim that they don't know UOA. UOA definitely is a big brand name. All KL people sure have seen UOA before. So as a developer, they are very strong, right? And we don't have any or very minimal developer risk in this sense. So people will buy just because of the UOA brand name. The other plus point of UOA JBCC is that there are no high-rise neighbors. So in terms of view, if you want to buy for view, I think whether you buy front, back, I think all the view is okay. No one really blocking you in any direction. You should get facing northwest. You probably have a good view of the Johor Botanical Gardens, and you can see Danga Bay. Right to the other direction, to the east, you probably see parts of Singapore as well, and so a little bit of the sea. Right, maybe a bit inland. Maybe you might not see so much sea, but I think okay lah. No high-rise neighbors, so in that sense, your views are pretty much unblocked. So what are the negatives? Negative number one is that the land size is only 1.2 acres plus minus. This is actually formerly a car park, right? So UOA bought over this car park and converted to condo. So there's 783 units. So still high density. Then again, I mean, all RTS projects are high density lah. So maybe that is quite common throughout. It's a common negative throughout all RTS projects. All of them are high density. So 783 over 1.2 acres. So it's a small plot of land. They got quite a number of decent facilities. Nothing out of the normal swimming pool, gym, rooftop stuff, right? The other main negative is that actually this plot of land, behind it is actually a water treatment plant. Okay, sewage. Yeah, technically it's sewage. Sewage water treatment plant. So like the Sungai Segit that runs very near City Square and Komtar, right? There's a river over there. So this is the water treatment plant for Sungai Segit, right? And the water treatment plant is quite a tall building, yeah. It's I mean, at least to me, it looks like 6-7 story building, right? So it's not a small, like, minor building that you cannot really notice. It's like a 6-7 story building, quite large, right? And some of you may be sensitive to the fact that you are next to a water treatment plant. I mean, in general, nobody likes to be next to a water treatment plant. So yeah, I mean, this is one issue with this. So there is a quite large water treatment plant next to it, right? And the other major con of UOA JBCC is that actually this Jalan Tun Razak section, this area, right? Even if you go downstairs, you see some shop house, right? But all these shop house right now is I mean, how to say, old one. Not much in terms of F&B. A couple of shops, some Malay restaurants out there, but nothing very fancy here, right? There's no supermarkets in the vicinity, no real amenities here, right? In case you want amenities, you have to walk back to City Square, right? Komtar, City Square in that direction, right? So to the north of you, there's nothing there. In front of you, there's nothing there. Nothing much here. So actually, yeah, downstairs don't really have any amenities, right? Unlike CTC Sky1, where you can see got upcoming mall, right? This one you have to go back to Komtar JBCC, that mall to get some amenities. And today Komtar JBCC and City Square, there is no supermarket, right? So like if you stay here and you want to buy grocery, also I don't know where you're gonna buy groceries because there's no supermarket nearby you. So this is the issue in the sense that this particular section, there's no real amenities in the walking distance vicinity, other than you go back to Komta and City Square. Pricing also, from what we understand, the JV value for this project is also high. So basically, we're also looking at a price of 1,300 per square foot onwards, right? Which is in line with the other projects, which is also not cheap, right? But again, in line with all other S-tier project pricing today. My 2 cents, right, after looking at these two projects, my first impressions, right, I think if you want to buy really walking distance to RTS, right, and you want to walk like 300 meters, this kind of distance, below 500 meters, you want to walk near one, you think R&F is too far, you think Causeway Square is also too far, right, and you like these two because they're very near, right, you should also consider to buy a Tri-Tower or Twin Tower resale. You might as well, because Tri-Tower, Twin Tower resale also very near, right, and possibly you can get at a cheaper price than these two projects. So why not, buy Tri-Tower, Twin Tower resale. And this Tri-Tower, Twin Tower resale also, you know that walking from that distance, you know where RTS station entrance quite near lah. So yeah, I mean, if you want to consider, a third option for you guys is to look at Tri-Tower, Twin Tower resale unit, right, around 1,000, 1,001 per square foot. I think it's a fair buy compared to buying these two lah, right. Of course, if you buy these two, you buy CTC number one because you like dual key, right, you think dual key is a very good concept and you want to buy a small dual key. I think CTC is the option for it if you want to buy near RTS. You buy UOA because you also want near RTS and you want to buy from a branded KL developer, strong developer that you know will not give you problem, then you buy UOA, right. Once we have other project details, or once both projects launch for marketing, right, we'll probably do a more detailed video going into the layout plans and the pricing. But from what I have so far, this is my my first impressions video, right. So take it think about it, right. This project, this video is not to attack or to promote any of these two projects yet. I don't have rights to sell these two projects anyway right now. I might get it, I don't know. I think things are still in discussion. But to be fair to all of you today, because there's a lot of marketing going on right now, and a lot of you are asking me the questions about these two projects, I do share here in this video my first impressions. I should think about it so that you, at least when you make a decision, right, with the agent that you're talking to, or even if it's not me, or eventually it might be me, right, you have these two things to consider lah. Why buy or why don't buy these projects. Okay, so thank you very much, right. In case you want to look at other properties in Johor Bahru, right, you can watch my other videos on my YouTube channel, right. I have many videos there. Check out my YouTube channel. I'm a property agent here. You can always contact me on my WhatsApp, 81261626, my Singapore number, to talk about any other properties in Johor Bahru in general, right, or other projects that we have talked about here on this video or on previous videos, right. Buy, sell, rent, yeah, all is okay, no obligations, right. And if you like the content on this video, I do appreciate if you share, and subscribe on my YouTube channel. Share with your friends and families, right, especially if you're considering retirement in Johor Bahru or buying property in Johor Bahru. Thank you very much. Hope to see you guys soon on my next video or on my next live, maybe one day. Thank you and bye bye.